And we are live. Hey, everyone, St. Paul's page. We are live. I'm here with Kevin Osborne. He's going to be jumping up here in a moment. But since we are live, if you have a comment or anything, you can leave it in the the chat area, comment area, and it will automatically show on the screen. And if there's something there that we can answer, we'll go ahead and answer. But I'm here, and this is a good announcement. Well, I think it's a good announcement. Sometimes when you have the staff parish relation committee uh, chairperson, team leader on, there can be some issues, but that's not the case here. It's all good. And so I'm going to pull Kevin in. Hey, Kevin, how you doing down there?
David, I'm doing well. I feel like I'm on the Brady Bunch here, but that's
I
pretty
know.
cool.
I love doing this stuff. Actually, why don't we do side by side? There we go.
Okay, that
There we
works
go.
too. Yeah,
It's good to see you, and you have an announcement.
boy, I sure do. And one of the things we've been talking about and want to bring to the attention of the entire church is that here in the state of Indiana, really, we have the great opportunity to apply for a grant from the Lilly Endowment Clergy Renewal Program. Very
Yes.
thankful for that opportunity. It's a grand opportunity, if you're not aware, that allows pastors to take a sabbatical from the near 24/7 obligations of daily pastoral life and pastoral care and really have a period of renewal and reflection. So, Russ Abel, who some of you really at St. Paul probably know from him growing up in the church, he's now at the conference office and is brought to our attention that according to our book of discipline as United Methodists, a sabbatical should be allowed every 7 years. And throw on that a global pandemic, and when the last year, or we're still going through a time of renewal and reflection would be great. And also, with that said, David has had not one, zilch, zero of a sabbatical in his 20 years of ministry. So we think the time is right and the time is good. Can I also go on with really, it's not a vacation.
No.
This year renewal is a time for intentional exploration and reflection. It's a time for regaining enthusiasm and creativity for the ministry at St. Paul, and a time for David to really discover what will reconnect him and strengthen his connection to God and his ministry to us at St. Paul. So that's why it's called a renewal program and not a vacation. And as some of you thinking back may recall, Pastor Frank Van Allen was granted a sabbatical through the Lilly program several years ago. And the major difference between our grant application we're going through now and then what we did with Frank is that we are now asked to involve as much of the church family as heavenly possible so that everyone feels a part of the planning process for this time of renewal. And so that's where members of St. Paul, our congregation, this is where you really come in.
Yeah.
In addition to being beneficial for David, if approved for the grant from Lilly, St. Paul will receive up to $15,000 for our own renewal and our own growth. So what does that look like? Well, I don't have the answers for that right now, but this is something that I ask you to think about and to pray over. So is it reestablishing what we used to have as our Labor Day retreat where we would reconnect with each other? Is it something like church and community gathering for a meal? I'm thinking something like the turkey dinner without us having to do all the work. Let's have it catered so we can just come in and enjoy the meal, and the meal and the cleanup is all taken care of someone else. So over this coming week, I ask you to pray about it. And after our service next Sunday, as we are getting good at gathering in the parking lot after the service and a time for fellowship, we're going to be asked what your thoughts are about our use of the grant. How can we put that grant money to the best use for us at St. Paul? So when will this happen? Well, we're bringing it to your attention now because the application deadline is coming up very soon. That's April 22nd. So we are in the early stages of the application process. But again, I say we are asking your involvement and the planning for this time of renewal and growth. So David's sabbatical will be happening in 2022. So it's not going to be happening yet this year, but we're planning ahead for 2022. And we're looking at potentially April through the end of July, March through the end of July, somewhere along that time frame. That's fluid and up in the air at this point in time. But I believe as a congregation, too, we are blessed at this time to have Aaron Taylor.
Yes.
who could step in and fully lead us during this time of David's sabbatical. So, again, please pray about it. And we look forward to your input. We look forward to your ideas. And we'll begin having those conversations after our worship service this Sunday.
Yeah. So for 2 weeks after this, well, this week and the next week,
Mhm.
going to gather after service in the parking lot, and there'll be someone that you can kind of gather with. Lee Carmichael, Ian Hall.
Mhm.
Who else is part with those two this week, or was
JL
there?
has
Oh,
JL's
JL. Yeah,
joining.
yeah.
Yep.
Jerry Seifers as well.
Mhm.
And you can share with them some of your thoughts. What it is $15,000 for the church to find renewal and
Mhm.
reconnection. That's why we've thought about, retreats or meals, something where we can come together, or rather you can, because I'll be on sabbatical, but
Mhm.
you can come together and reconnect, because that's been so hard over the past few months. And I'm looking forward to be able to have some time to where I can really seek God deeply, and come back to St. Paul and be able to give more or better than what I was before.
You
So
addressed the question I was just going to ask you. What would that time of refreshment and renewal mean to you?
yeah, well, it means being re-energized,
Hmm.
because after a while, you kind of get in this mode, and just that time away for re-energization. From what I've read, to be
Hmm.
re-energized, pastors come back and just at a different place. In fact,
Hmm.
Russ was telling me that he felt it added 5 years onto his ministry,
Wow.
which is amazing to hear that. So if you have any questions, let us know. But next Sunday, for the next 2 weeks, come and gather out. If you don't feel comfortable coming into the church, come around, 10:20 or so, and hang out outside, until service is over. If you
Yeah.
have a cell phone, you can jump on the church Wi-Fi and watch it outside. But we really want input of the church, because a part of this grant and this renewal is for St. Paul.
Hmm.
And it's such a gift that Lily's given. And we hope to be able to get this grant and to move forward in ministry.
Yeah. So be thinking about it, be praying over it, and we hope and pray for the best.
Yes. Yeah. Well, Kevin, is that it for us?
That's all I have, David.
All right, man. Hey, thanks a lot.